Lots of big news, updates, twists and turns coming in on the Manchester United takeover. Some new developments and a feeling there could be an announcement late tonight. There could be an announcement by the time this video is out or by the time you're watching it. There could be an announcement soon. If not, it'll probably just go on until February. We've also got some transfer news on Kubo, Girassi and more. Manchester United looking to make some moves in the January window. We've got a few news on injuries where Mount's back, Maguire's back, Lindelof's back, Martin's back and Casemiro's back. A few other stories going about, a little bit of stories on Dan Ashworth. But of course, Manchester United have made their 7th statement of the season after another investigation going on at the club, which revolves around food poisoning. It is the most Man United thing that will only happen at Man United, but they've made a statement because their food hygiene score has dropped from 5 to 1. So please do hit that like button if you have not already, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. Let's get into our first story. We'll get through this story quickly, but it is the most Man United thing. Like, it's not funny, obviously, those poor people that got salmonella, but it's just so Man United, it just can't make you laugh. But Manchester United have been slapped with a 1 out of 5 hygiene rating after guests at corporate event ate raw chicken. They will appeal this. I mean, you served raw chicken at a corporate event. I think there's a reason why your hygiene rating's gone. It was said Manchester United's statement in response to 1-star food hygiene rating. This was an isolated incident and the point of failure was identified and addressed. Everyone at the club is determined to regain our 5-star hygiene rating as soon as possible. To support that objective, we are conducting an independent food audit and any further opportunities for improvement, says United. So they actually put out a statement because they basically gave a load of guests at a corporate event food poisoning. And this is not funny for the people that got food poisoning, but this is an example of Manchester United. Corporate event, expensive event, you can't even get the chicken right. You're food poisoning your guests at a corporate event. You can't run the transfers right. The pitch is a mess. This is just a representation of everything going on at Manchester United. Nothing goes right at this club, from the training ground being a mess, the facilities being a mess, the stadium being a mess. They can't even serve chicken at a corporate event now. They can't even do a basic transfer. It's just a representation of Manchester United. And the investigation has now led to them getting a 1-star rating, which they're not happy with. They put out a statement on, but no one really cares about that story. It's just Manchester United being Manchester United. Let's dive into the takeover news because there's expected to be some developments tonight. It was said by Dickinson's Time earlier today that Sir Jim Ratcliffe's deal to buy 25% of Manchester United was in final negotiations on Thursday night, and the Ineos team and the Glazer family are understood to be working all week to try and complete this paper network. There's a feeling that they want to get the deal done and announced tonight, if not early tomorrow. It said Sir Jim Ratcliffe's investment in Manchester United is almost finalised and could be confirmed today by Pete Hall. And then Ben Jacobs said new Ineos and Manchester United have been working around the clock to try and announce Sir Jim Ratcliffe's 25% stake today. But as of this morning, it's in the balance to whether that's possible. Still not being entirely ruled out, though. Apparently, they're trying to get it announced today because they don't want to go into the 10-day Christmas period. Just putting that on pause because it's so close. So they're working around the clock to get that done tonight. You then got the ever so credible Simon Stone, who's one of the best sources of information out there, again saying it is expected advisors on all sides of Sir Jim Ratcliffe's and Manchester United's 25% deal will work late on Friday or into the weekend if necessary to provide positive outcomes still possible before the Christmas break. So he's saying there's a strong feeling that they will be working to get this done before Christmas, and it might be announced tomorrow, Saturday. So we could be doing a West Ham watch on tomorrow, and boom, we've announced the deal. It was then said by TalkSport, Manchester United are close to confirming Sir Jim Ratcliffe's acquisition of a 25% stake in the club. The 1.25 billion deal will be subject to Premier League approval, which can take up to 8 weeks. And again, this is another reason to get this done quickly because they've then got to go through the Premier League ownerships test. The Muppeteers and other reliable sources have said because they've done so much groundwork behind the scenes, which is why it's taken so long to announce the deal, that it could only be a 2-3 week period for Premier League owners test. But that does mean it's unlikely that Ratcliffe will be able to do anything in January, but not that United were going to do anything in January either. And there were suggestions that Ratcliffe didn't have plans for the January window because he's more focused on actually bringing people in like Ashworth, Mitchell, Blanc, Brailsford before he actually signs players, because he wants to get the structure in place first. So he's willing to miss out on the January window to focus on the summer, because by summer he'll have the right structures and he can make a right plan, and he doesn't want to rush anything in January, was said on Ratcliffe. And then Simon Stone said again about an hour ago, Ineos and Man United are still trying to get the deal done before Christmas. And Ben Jacobs said about an hour ago, all parties are working hard to try and get a deal done tonight or tomorrow. So it's pretty much been said by multiple sources that United are working really hard to get this takeover deal done tonight, tomorrow, just to get it done, to get it wrapped up. And hopefully it does get wrapped up before Christmas, because there's a lot of people with a lot of fake information online telling us it's still going to be Qatar and leading on fans and their hopes. We did a big video earlier today. If you didn't watch my video that came out earlier today, I highly recommend watching that. But my big video that came out earlier today, it was that whole thing about how Murtaugh's run the club poorly, how he fell out with Sir Alex Ferguson over the Bellingham signing, how Murtaugh was told that Anthony's worth 25 million and spent 86 million. There was a big expose on Murtaugh and the people who run Manchester United today by Laurie Whitwell. Fantastic report. We covered it in my video earlier today, and it just highlighted all the problems at United, which shows the need for Ineos to come in. I've been very big on the full takeover. I've been very big on the full sale. I did not want Ratcliffe to come in. I don't like the idea of the Glazers still staying and leeching money out of this club. But if Ineos are coming in and getting rid of Murtaugh, Arnold, Fletcher for maybe Ashworth, Mitchell, Blanc, that's exactly what needs to happen, because Manchester United is a massive mess. We need to completely redo the structure. And while I wanted Qatar, and there's people saying we're still going to get Qatar, that's not the case. It is going to be an Ineos. We know that. The quicker Ineos come in, the better, because it stops the rumours, it stops the false information coming in. It also means that they can change the sporting structure within the club, which massively needs to happen, as we're a mess. Talking of changing the sporting structure, there was obviously a few stories coming out, and Dan Ashworth and Matt Hughes of the Daily Mail said this: Manchester United will have to bide their time or pay big compensation if they're determined to appoint Dan Ashworth as new sporting director, because he has a 12-month notice period in his contract at Newcastle. Ashworth is happy at St James's Park, and Newcastle are confident of retaining him, but a formal offer from United would test resolve for both parties. Ashworth does not have a set release clause in his contract at Newcastle, and the club would demand more than his 1.5 million salary to release him early. Basically, what Matt Hughes is saying is Manchester United want Dan Ashworth. Dan Ashworth is very happy at Newcastle. He's very happy with his job at Newcastle, but there's a feeling he could be tempted by United. Manchester United tried to get Ashworth 2 years ago, but he said he wouldn't come in, he wouldn't work under Murtaugh. Ashworth is now open to joining the United project because of obviously Blanc coming in. He wants to work under Brailsford and Blanc. He's worked under them in the past. He knows them. Ashworth has now not worked under them in the past, but he has a relationship with Brailsford. He's now open to coming to United, and United do want Ashworth. They're really interested in him, but it's said that basically we're going to have to wait basically a while to get him, because he's got a 12-month notice period, which means that we're going to have to pay a bit of money to get him to do that, really, which I don't know if I can see United doing, but I think maybe we could do something in summer for Ashworth. But it's basically said he's happy at Newcastle, but there's a chance he could go to United. So maybe United push for him, maybe United get him, maybe United don't get him. I think they might go for someone like Paul Mitchell first, because he's out of work and he'll be easier to appoint, and then maybe pay the money to get Dan Ashworth in, because he does have a 12-month notice period. And to be honest, he's very stable at Newcastle. I can't see him leaving Newcastle unless he really wants to come to United. We offer him big money and he believes in the project. I think while he's open to joining United, United will really have to push to make that happen, because I think he's very comfortable and happy at Newcastle. Going into the transfer news side of things, it said Manchester United have approached Serhoj Girassi ahead of the potential transfer, and that Serhoj Girassi is actually pushing to leave Stuttgart in January and wants to move to the Premier League, and United and Newcastle are the favourites to sign him. I've been very clear with this. This guy's having a great season. He's scoring goals, but this is his first season where he starts scoring goals. This is the first good season he's had in his career. He doesn't add much else other than goals. If he goes to United and we don't create any chances for him, because he's getting loads of chances created for him at Leipzig, I don't think he's going to score. I don't think this guy is going to work at United. I'd rather us not waste 15 million on a player that probably won't be good enough for United and is a risky player, just because it might help out Højlund for 6 months. I'd rather us not spend that and save those 15 million and put it towards someone like Inacio, Todibo, Amadou Onana that we're actually going to need in the long-term 5-year project. I just fed up of doing these Weghorst, Gallos, Sabitzer type deals, players that you kind of mare and cheap. I want to be buying someone that we actually know is going to be good enough to play for United for the next 5 years, or at least in the project, or we believe is good enough to play for us in that long-term 5-year plan. I do apologise if the quality's just dropped off a bit, guys. Not sure what's going on, but it also said that United are interested in signing Kubo next summer. I don't think it would happen in January, as they said, next summer. They're saying that they're going to offer him a load of money. I think when we're linked to a player, and in that report they say that Manchester United are willing to 10 times his salary or 8 times his salary, I always say take the report with a pinch of salt. I think this is an agent game. All the reports that say we're going to go for this player and we're going to double, triple his salary, I think is just a made-up report to help that player get a new contract, a better deal, from his current club, because Kubo's playing well. He'll probably want a new contract because he's playing well. Okay, let's say United are going to come in and offer big money because they need a right winger. I'm sure Kubo's a player of interest. I'd like to see Kubo at Manchester United. Not 100% sure if he's the right fit in terms of winger we need, because I don't know if he's quite a Ten Hag winger, but he's an improvement on what we have. He's having a great season. But I would take the Kubo links with a pinch of salt for now. I think I'd take most transfer news with a pinch of salt for now, other than the stuff that comes out from Romano and Ornstein and Whitwell. And now on to our final story. And again, I do apologise if the Wi-Fi is cutting out here, but it was said Erik ten Hag asked about Casemiro and Martinez's recovery in the press conference, and he said they're not available, but in January we expect them back. He gave a bit more detail and said Casemiro and Martinez are expected back in mid-January. He then said Mason Mount is similar into January, and Maguire, he said, I expect early on, and Lindelof's not available. He said Mount and Maguire, he expects early January. Lindelof's not available because he's done a surgery and he'll be out for a couple of weeks. And then Casemiro and Martinez will be mid-January return. So that is the latest on transfer news, takeover news, general news, all things United, statement news coming out now. I mean, I expect there could be a big takeover announcement tonight as well. I'm not sure. Could be one tomorrow, or there might not be one for months. Who even knows? But please do smash the like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.